Hello, distance learners, and welcome to the 33rd week of distance learning. Today we're going to be looking at Spiral Review, worksheets 1.1 through 1.4. Remember what we're going to be doing now, since some of you told me that instead of doing one math worksheet a day, you just take your math packet and you sit down and you do all the math worksheets in one sitting in one day. And so, in order to accommodate that, we're just going to have one big, long math video today, all right? Our spiral review this week is going to start on 1.1, and you're going to look at a number in standard form, okay? So let's say I have a number that says 700 plus 50 plus 2. That's expanded form. In standard form, I'm just going to write 752. 752, 752. It's the same number. Woohoo! You're going to practice writing numbers in standard form. All right. Next, we're going to be reviewing these three symbols. Greater than, less than, equal to. The number alligator is living in the swamp. He sneaks up on numbers and starts to chomp. That's right, the number alligator opens to the bigger number. So if I have 30,090, and I'm comparing that to 3,900, which one is the bigger number? Ding, 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 this one is. So the number alligator opens to the bigger one. Chomp, chomp, chomp. How do I read these numbers? Read it with me. 30,090 is greater than 3,900. Let's say it again. 30,090 is greater than 3,900. All right, so you're going to be reviewing how to do comparison problems. What else are you going to be reviewing? Well, I'm going to give you a set of numbers and I want you to put them from least to greatest. So if I have 12,200 and I have 122,000 and I have 10,200. Whoa, this is getting a little confusing because they all have ones, twos, and zeros. Which one is the smallest? I have to look at the first number. 0, 0, 2. Oh, so that means this one's smaller, right? No, because look, 122, let's compare it this way. 12, 122, and 10. Oh, I can see it now, Mr. Ivan. 10 is smaller, so that means 10,200 is the smallest, followed by 12,200, followed by 122,000. That's how we get it in order from least to greatest. Least to greatest, smallest to biggest. All right. Now let's take a look at rounding to the nearest 10,000. Rounding to the nearest 10,000. Well, if I have 352,022, which number is in the 10,000 place? Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, ding, ding, ding. So that means I'm either going to round up to 36,000 or 360,000, or round down to 350,000. Which one do you think I should round up or down to? Well, let's take a look. When I'm rounding, I have to look at the rule of the magic 5, okay? The rule of the magic 5 tells me that if a number is 5 or smaller, if the number is smaller than 5, I'm going to round down. But if the number is bigger than 5, I'm going to round up. And you might be looking at that and be asking, well, Mr. Ivan, which exact number am I looking at? And that's a fair question. The exact number we're looking at is a number that's to the right of the, did that just zoom in? That did just zoom in. Let me try to zoom out. There we go. Is a number that's directly to the right, which is a 2, right? So 2, bigger than 5 or smaller than 5? Smaller. So that means I'm going to round down, so I actually keep the 5 the same, the 3 stays the same because that's way over here to the left. Everything else becomes a 0. So I rounded down to 350,000, okay? Let's try that again. If I have 555, that's a lot of 5s. Again, which number's in the 10,000s place? Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s. What's the number directly to the right? 5. 5. So what do I do if it's 5? Well, if it's 5 or above, I round up. So this time I'm actually going to round up. This number becomes a 6. 5, this 5 stays the same. This one gets rounded up to a 6. The rest becomes zeros. It gets rounded up to 560,000. Okay? Well, what if I want you to round to the nearest 100,000? Nearest 100,000, okay? Well, let's take that same number we just looked at, 555,555. Where's the 100,000 place? Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s. All right. So should I round up to 600,000 or down to 500,000? Remember, the rule of the magic 5 tells me round up. 600,000. Let's round one more time. What if I have 945,000? Should I round up to 1,000,000 or down to 1,000? 9,000. Here's 100,000's place. The number directly to the right is a 4. Good, so I should round down to the 900,000. Okay? 945,000 gets rounded down to 900,000. Well, what if, though, this number was an 8? And it was 985,000. Well, now I round up, but what do I do? How do I round up since this is a 9? Well, it now becomes a 10. And I fill in the rest of the places with zeros. Well, what number is that? Well, let's put some commas in. Now I can see once I put the commas in that it's a 1,000,000. It's a 1,000,000. All right. Let's erase. So that wraps up 1.1 review. Now we're going to be looking at 1.2 review. And 1.2 review, you're going to notice, is all about addition and subtraction. So let's take 7,846 plus 5,007. Okay, remember the way I told you a couple weeks ago was to go ahead and divide these up into the place values. That helps me see that it's just 4 addition problems written right next to each other. 6 plus 7 is 13, but only the 3 fits. I have to carry the 1. 1 plus 4 plus 0 is 5. 8 plus nothing is 8. 7 plus 5 is 12. Now, do I need to carry the 1? There's no way to carry it, so it falls down. Boop. What did you get as your answer? 12,853. Okay? Remember, when we're adding, we carry to the left. It's the opposite with subtraction. With subtraction, we borrow from the left. And then we regroup to the right. Completely different. So let's look at those same numbers. 7,846. But now we're going to subtract 5,007. Okay, again, divide each place up into a place value. Now I do some subtraction. 6 subtract 7. Uh-oh, 7's bigger, so I have to borrow. When I borrow, I regroup. 4, I'm borrowing 1 from the 4. Put that 1 up here. 4 subtract 1 is 3. This now gets read as 16. 16 take away 7. That's 9. 3 take away 0, 3. 8 take away 0, 8. 7 take away 5, 2. So when I subtract the numbers, I get 2,839. All right, so be careful. Numbers 1 through 12 are all addition, where you're going to be regrouping based off of, you're going to be borrowing. No, regrouping. Subtraction is 13 through 24. That's where you're going to be borrowing and regrouping, okay? Now for Spiral Review 1.3, you're going to be looking at multiplication, fact families, and division, okay? First one is just some basic math facts, okay? So if you tell me, well, what's 4 times 5, right? That's something I want you to have memorized by now. If I give you 3 times 5, if I give you 6 times 5, okay? Something I want you to have to memorize. 4 times 5 is 20. 3 times 5, 15. 6 times 5, 30. All right? That's why we've been working through all those multiplication charts at the beginning of the year to get you to memorize your multiplication facts. All right. Now let's look at some division. Again, something I want you to just have memorized. If we do 27 divided by 9, if we do 35 divided by 7, or if we just do 40 divided by 5. Okay? Something I just want you to have memorized so that you can quickly say 27 divided by 9 is 3, 35 divided by 7 is 5, 40 divided by 5 is 8. Okay, see how quickly that can be done? That's also why we did all that multiplication division practice in the beginning of the year, so you can have that memorized and just be good to go. Okay? Now we're going to be looking at some fact families. Okay, so let's look at these 3 numbers. 3, 5, 15. 3, 5, 15. Okay. Here's the fact family. 3 times 5 equals 15. 5 times 3 equals 15. 15 divided by 5 equals 3. 15 divided by 3 equals 5. Those are the fact families, okay? 3, 5, and 15, how are they related? 3 by 5 is 15, 5 by 3 is 15, 15 divided by 5 is 3, 15 divided by 3 is 5. We call those fact families. All right. All right, now let's take a look at your last worksheet for this week, which is 1.4. You get some basic fact practice, estimate, and then some more two-step multiplication, okay? Now, let's take a look at one like this. We're going to be talking about estimating. Estimating. Now, when I estimate, I might have a number that says 714 multiplied by 5. And in order to do this quickly without a calculator or without taking a paper and pencil and doing two-step multiplication is to actually round 7 to the hundreds place. So remember, we just talked about rounding a couple minutes ago. Should 714 be rounded down to 700 or up to 800? Well, since I'm rounding this number, I look to the number to the right. That's a 1. Remember the rule of magic 5. Is that smaller than 5 or bigger? Yeah, that's smaller. So I round down to 700. I'm going to keep 5 the same because that's a pretty easy number. All right. So now let's do 5 times 7. 5 times 7 is 35. How many zeros are in my problem? There's 2. That means my answer needs 2 zeros. My answer is 3,500. That's an estimate though, remember. That's not the actual answer. Well, let's go through and let's try to find the actual answer. So let's do the two-step method. 5 times 4 is 20. Write the 0, carry the 2. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 2 is 7. 5 times 7 is 35. So my actual answer is 3,570. And you might say, wait a minute, Mr. Ivan, that's not the same. 3,570 versus 3,500. It's not the same. But an estimate helps me to quickly get a good guess of what the answer should be. Because I rounded down, I know that my estimate is smaller than my actual answer, right? But doing the estimate helps me to check my answer to see, is this something that I can see is reasonable? Because if I crunched out these numbers and I got something way different, like 12,430, I would know, wait a minute, that's nowhere close to my estimate. That means I made a mistake and I need to rework some problems. All right, let's do one more multiplication problem today. This time we're not going to estimate. We're just going to jump right into it and find the actual product. All right, let's say you got 2,062 times 6. Now that is way too hard to try to do without rewriting the problem. So to rewrite the problem, I'm going to rewrite it so that it's on top of one another. I'm going to write 2,062 first and write 6 underneath. Multiplication symbol, equal bar. This problem is the same as this. This problem is the same as this. Now I do my two-step. 6 times 2 is 12. Carry the 1. Remember, different than what we just reviewed with addition and subtraction. Kind of similar to addition where I'm carrying over and adding it to that line. Okay? 6 times 6 is 36. Now I add the 1. 37. Carry the 3. 6 times 0 is 0, plus 3 is 3. 6 times 2 is 12. So for my product, I got 12,372. All right, put that into practice today on Spiral Review 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4. And please reach out to me with any questions. I think we found that especially math goes well over our Zoom calls. So bring your questions to our Zoom calls so I can show you the numbers.